everybody. Nikki Burnett here. This is Taste Life Nutrition Radio, my favorite song ever because we need a happy place. And Three Little Birds is my happy place.
It's a great song.
I love this song.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be all right. This is my kind of my theme song now.
I think it's great. I mean, because we really do. We need
Yeah.
to, I mean, I think we're in a time today where we need to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's kind of out of sorts. We were just talking about it. Just out of sorts, and you know, it feels like we just need a little bit of happiness in this world.
We do. And I need to actually do my job because I'm not turning any of the speakers up. See, out of sorts. I told you I'm out of sorts, but we're going to get it. And I'm going to start this. Okay. And we're not going to start over, but we're going to pretend we're starting over. Anyway, my apologies. I'm Nikki Burnett. This is Taste Life Radio. We are here to do our best to put truth in health and truth in science and bring to you the truth to the best of our ability and have some fun even when we mess things up, because I have a really bad habit of messing things up and not doing my job, just like just then. But I'll get it done eventually. We were actually talking about this before the show. I'm like, I'm always messing things up in here. But anyway, so we're going to have some fun even if we mess things up. But we really want to bring to you the best that we can, you know, when it comes to truth, because there's so much confusion in science and health and wellness, in mental and emotional health and physical health, in community health, right? There's so much out there, and health is all encompassing really in so many ways. And so it's, you know, we just want to talk about it. We want to do our best to bring to you what we know to be the truth to the best of our ability, and, you know, hopefully guide you in some direction where you can find truth. Because our truth also is going to be, you know, we're all physically different. We have our different environment, our different skills, our different relationships, our different history. And so, you know, we just want to bring to you what we know is the best, and then you can go and find what's the best for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Well, it's good enough. And we just want to, you know, like you said, being able to speak to the truth about what our mental health is.
Yeah.
You know, what is that?
Yeah.
And focusing and recognizing that it's going to be different for every individual.
Absolutely.
But there's a unique recipe and universality to that experience. And so we want to speak to the truth of that.
Yeah, I love that. And so if I didn't already say this is my good friend Charlie Pacello. He is the host of his own radio show on Fridays at
1 to 2 p.m.
1 to 2 p.m. So be there. Streaming live here, of course, on KUHS Denver, who is the bomb. It's an oldie, right? The bomb.
You're aging us right now.
I know. Holy smokes. All right. So, what are we grateful for today? This is how we always want to start the show. I try to start my mornings with gratitude, with prayer, with some time of stillness. And so that's also how I want to start the show. And so, what are you grateful for today, Charlie?
Boy, I am grateful for just the privilege of being alive, just breathing.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good one.
To be able to breathe and wake up today and just to enjoy life. You know, that's what I'm grateful for.
Yeah, very good. You know, I think what I'm grateful for today is, you all know that I'm a functional nutritionist. I work mostly with humans, but I also work with dogs. Mm-hmm. And so it's not a huge part of my practice, because when people hear that, they're like, what? How do you work with dogs? Anyway, but I teach people how to feed their dogs real, raw food, because this is how they're built. This is the biologically appropriate diet for an animal, for a dog, right? And so more people are seeing this now, whether it's seeing me, which is great, and that's what I want, but more people are now becoming more open to, wait, there's something more to this, and you know, there's something more to taking care of my family, because dogs are our family. If we bring them into the family, we take care of them as our family. And so there's this belief that, you know, these big dog food companies, and I would put it out there to the big companies, period. You know, there's so much heavy marketing that we fall for their marketing. And, you know, kibble is death. I'm just gonna say it.
Kibble is death?
Kibble is death.
Yeah?
Yeah. It may not be an early death, but it is. Dogs are supposed to live to be 25, 30 plus years old.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't realize that. I always thought a dog's life was somewhere like between maybe 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, because that's what we are meant to believe now. Because
Wow.
that's how long they live because of the way we've been feeding them.
Oh.
It's disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So when and people have that same reaction. You know, people like, oh, my dog's 7. He's middle aged now. I'm like, no, he's not, and he shouldn't be. You know, so let's make that change now. And you know, I mean, there's a dog out there that's 36. She might not still be around. I'm not sure. 36.
Wow.
Yeah, but she's from I think Australia or New Zealand.
Yeah.
Farming dog, ran every day, ate what the animals gave her. She found her own food, and I mean, she did what a dog's supposed to do and ate what a dog's supposed to eat. So I didn't mean to kind of digress on that, but sometimes I can't help it, you know. But more people are finding me to help them and to help their dogs, and sometimes it's at that point where they're really sick, and sometimes we can bring them back, which is amazing. When all you do is change their food and their lungs are working properly and their GI is working properly and their skin starts to feel better and smell better. I mean, it's amazing because it's such a quick change.
Wow.
It's amazing. So these are fun things to see. Is, dogs, they just want love, and so food is love. Give them good food.
Food is like the gifts from heaven and all that. So you give it to the dogs, and they're just happy and they're wagging their tails.
It's true.
I think about my dogs, and from when you're just saying about that. And my gosh, Caesar was my favorite dog, and he died so young. And I was like, if we could have just given him the right food, we could have lengthened his life.
It's true. But what we can't do, and I think that these are things that we'll probably talk about, but that is kind of a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
When your dogs die, I'd say it's very traumatic. I'm still traumatized by mine.
Yeah.
And I learned off of my 2 boys, which is kind of hard for me, but it's good at the same time, because then I now, because of those boys, I'm able to teach and to help and do at least my teeny tiny little part to try to expand a few dogs' lives. But what I was going to say is we can't go back, right? I mean, we only know what we know now. We didn't know it then. So, but that's why I'm here now, in my mind. That's why I'm here now, to speak my truth and what I believe to be is truth, and to help those do the same thing. At the very least, do your own research, look at it. Vets are going to tell you all day long this is a bad idea, and that's okay. I have a good friend who's a vet, and I don't know if she's convinced yet, but she's seen it. She's seen what I've done with one of the dogs, and she's like, she hasn't said anything yet about but the dog is better, and she's like, I don't know what to do with this dog, and the dog is thriving.
Wow.
It's all because of food. It's not magic. It's food.
If we really thought about the things that we put in our bodies or animals' bodies, and how much so much of it is processed and unnatural for them, I mean, we would revamp everything. I mean, we'd really it's so obvious once you think about it.
Yeah.
But how did we get to this place where we just accepted that we would be, feeding our dogs these things without even really thinking about, is this healthy for them?
It's true. It's really great marketing. It's truly amazing what marketing can do for, whether it's for human food. I mean, what kind of marketing is out there for these foods that are pure trash. They're like, oh, it's healthy for you because it's low fat. Yay. And I mean, and that's just tiny compared to exactly. They'll go off of this is natural, so it's healthy. This is gluten free, so it's healthy. This is sugar free. This is fat free. It's whatever, so it's healthy. And if you don't take a little time to just do a little bit of research, to just do a little bit of understanding, and really all that means is thinking, let's take this back to basics. Is it from the earth? If it's not, it's probably not okay in many cases. So, I mean, that's really the basics. Think about it. Is it a vegetable? Is it a fruit? Is it a meat? Is it a fat? It's all pretty basic stuff. So, anyway, sorry, we kind of got way off on a topic that's well, I just kind of love it, and we'll talk about it forever. But we really,
it's great. Are you kidding? I mean, I was like, wow, this is interesting. I didn't know this. It's fabulous.
Good. Learn something new every day, right?
Oh, this is fantastic. It just makes me, because eventually I'll get a dog again, but I'm going to take what you're saying to heart.
Good.
Yeah, because I think a dog's a man's best friend or a woman's best friend. They're fantastic, and of course you want them to live as long as you possibly can, because they become a part of you.
They do.
And when you lose them,
yeah.
And if you could extend their life out just a little bit longer, wouldn't you want to?
The best.
I think that's
fabulous. Absolutely. Yeah, I it's interesting with my girls now who've never had a stitch of kibble except when the rescues. So when they were, in the shelter or whatever. I always think, how long are you gonna live? You're gonna live such a long time, So it's kind of weird, but it's fun. It's fun and it's good and it's simple. It really is a pretty simple process to feed your dogs a good, healthy, raw diet. So we'll get off of that topic, at least for now. We'll come back to it at some point.
It's fabulous. Fabulous.
I'm happy to help you when you get your dog. Just let me know.
All right.
Okay, so let's jump into why we're actually here, which is not dogs. But we should probably always talk about dogs a little bit, I think.
I think so. You have to. You got to bring them in. Just, what the thing about dogs is that it doesn't matter where you are, where you've been. The moment they see you, it's like it's the first time they've ever seen you.
Like you've been gone for
hours.
I just walked to the mailbox. It is the best thing.
It's the best. My brother got his, and I know we're just talking about dogs right now.
It's okay.
My brother got a new black Labrador. He is the sweetest dog ever. His name's Bruno, and he's so smart. He's so loving. He comes through in between the legs, and he just comes in, and he's got this, and it doesn't matter. He'll come over, and how could you not love dogs?
It's the best.
They are the best.
I have my little one who's become my dog, but what she does, and it's really bad, because your dogs are not supposed to jump, but she doesn't jump. She looks at me with these eyes, and she stretches, and she's on her hind legs, and she's just stretching like this. I'm like, okay, and then she'll literally wrap her paws around me, put her head on my shoulder, and give me a hug.
Aww. That's so beautiful. That's awesome.
It is awesome, but they're not supposed to jump, and I can't say no.
Yeah.
I can't. Lowry, my husband, gets really upset. But that's okay. So, up to... Good? What? Is it down? No. See, I'm still not doing my job. Henry's always trying to take care of me. Well, he does take care of me because I don't do my job well. I can talk, but I can't do all the mechanical stuff.
But see, I think people love this. Honestly, when isn't it funny when you talk about something and sometimes it happens that way? I watched this thing recently where there was an interview that was happening, right? It was all perfect, it was formal, it was this, and, like this, and it's like there was no feeling. There was no mistakes. There was all like this. There's like, and I think people like that, where you can connect with, like, people just being people.
Oh man, yeah. I'm a people who screws up a lot.
But it's honest and authentic, and I think, because sometimes some things are so formalized and so this, and it was like, okay, yeah, she was doing a great job. She did this, but it wasn't. It was so mechanical. If people are doing things just mechanically all the time, and they're not boring. It's boring. It's totally boring, and you're like, oh, this is like, But if people are like, making mistakes and they see little things, they're like, oh, what's going on? And so they check it out.
It's such a mess. It's such a mess sometimes, I swear.
We all are. We all are.
Yeah, which is what we're going to talk about today, not being a mess. And sometimes we're all a little bit of a mess.
Well, it's how to manage our messness.
Ooh, I like that.
Because we're going to all be a little bit of a mess. Some of us are on one end of the spectrum, others of us are on the other end of the spectrum. But how do we handle our mess in a way that allows us to experience life in its fullness?
Because there's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much, and when we get stuck in our head, it's so often that it's just so difficult to experience anything, and you can't see outside of that.
No.
And that's just, it's sad, you know. So I think that probably let's start with who you are, what you are. I mean, that's how I kind of always start the show with guests. Is I want you to talk about, you know, instead of me reading a bio and all of this stuff, you know, let's talk about, you know, let you talk about what you do, what brought you here, what excites you, what you're doing that's new, and then we'll kind of dig into some of this other stuff.
Sure. Well, I'm a life coach, teacher, public speaker. I've been working with people who've struggled with PTSD and depression and trauma for many, many years, and I'm a veteran as well. I was in the Air Force.
Thank you for your service.
Oh,
I love that.
Thank you for saying it, but it was something that was a part of my family for many years, or for generations. My dad was in Vietnam. My grandfather was in World War II. Just recently found out my biological grandfather, his last name was Lindsay. We just recently learned that. And
wow.
They were fighting in the Civil War and Revolutionary War, so we have like
you just gave me
multiple
chills.
generations.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they were fighting on both sides, on the Confederate side and the Union side.
Holy smokes.
So talk about brother fighting brother and cousin fighting cousin and all that. So a lot of intergenerational trauma that got passed down the generations.
We're talking epigenetics
now. That we're going to get into that, you know, collapsed on me, which I didn't even know, you know, what had happened, why these things were unfolding the way they were. And so, you know, when I joined the military, I went to the Air Force Academy down here in Colorado Springs. And I graduated in '96 and got stationed in Los Angeles Air Force Base and worked on the nuclear warfare program. It was the GPS NDS program. So, by the way, everything I'm saying to you is public knowledge.
It is now.
It is now. No, it's no, it is. It is. So you can find this. Anyway, I was working on this system. And it was a mobile, survivable ground and control unit that would only be used to conduct integrated tactical warning and attack assessment and nuclear force management. Basically, that means end-to-end nuclear war. Where they hit us, where we hit them, do we have more weapons to shoot? And it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, you know. And
did you have a choice? So is that just where they put you, and then you realized that's not what you wanted to do, or?
You know, ironically, it was when I got to LA Air Force Base. They didn't have an assignment for me. It's like they didn't even know I was coming, which was really strange.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did my name get lost as I was going there? And I was a young, aspiring lieutenant, and so they didn't have, so they had me walk around the office, and there was like nuclear warfare program. What the heck is that? So let me try that out. So I chose it because I thought it was, you know, the peaceful mission was to protect, making sure that nobody was blowing up nuclear weapons. India and Pakistan were having, well, they're still having problems, but they were having problems back then, and we were concerned. But then I got assigned to the offensive mission, and it screwed me up. Got what was called moral injury. Which is basically your mind tells you to do something that your heart knows is wrong. You know, annihilating mankind is not something I wanted to participate in. And I started waking up with nuclear apocalyptic nightmares. Was frozen in my bed. Night sweats, burning bodies, screams, that kind of stuff. And I was in trauma, and I was having these, and so I ended up losing my sense of moral compass because I felt betrayed by the oath that I took. I felt betrayed by the country that I was serving. I felt in the command structure. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't know anything, about moral injury at the time. And I didn't understand the epigenetics that I had been born into and the family that I had been born into. And I didn't know about the adverse childhood experiences, which is the ACEs study, which hadn't even been done yet. And that study hadn't been done until 1998. And that study talks about these early adverse experiences that you have in your childhood makes someone predisposed to having PTSD when they become an adult, because it changes the way your brain functions and processes things. And we can get into that
so
here.
So you had childhood traumas that then sort of opened you up to these other traumas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 0 to 5 is a huge window of growth for children. It's also a major, there's different developmental stages that in a healthy environment, children who grow up in where the family structure and the family system is intact, and both parents are doing their best, and they're, but there's not any conflict, there's not any violence, there's not any of that going on. Well, when my dad came back from Vietnam, my parents had a lot of problems. Okay, there was a lot of alcoholism, interpersonal, that kind of stuff. And my first conscious memories of those things were watching, things that happened. And so, and I love both my parents, and they were both injured. And as a child, what you end up doing is you take that on personally. If something's wrong with my mom, there's something wrong with my dad, there's something wrong with me. And your nervous system makes these adjustments in order to survive where you're at. And the family that you're born into, it's automatic. It's actually a brilliant mechanism for what your nervous system will do. And in order to survive, it will make changes so that you can adapt. Like codependency is an adaptation that your nervous system makes in order to survive. And because you need to know the emotional makeup of the person that you're with. You need to kind of mesh into it, knowing if I do this, they're going to be upset. If I do this, they're going to be happy. So you're constantly monitoring them because you need them in order to survive, in order to feed you, in order to put your clothes on, all those things, all that kind of stuff. And so, and then your brain no longer is able to perceive safety. So your nervous system will start looking for cues of safety. All right, it does it automatically. It's interoception. It's called interoception. You're interocepting cues of safety, cues of threat, and cues of connection. So you're doing that always automatically. And if you've been born in an environment where those cues have been imbalanced, all right, your brain, in order to protect you, is going to look for more cues of threat than for cues of safety, because you're constantly living in a world where you're walking on eggshells. You're worried about this person blowing up. You have a parent who's drinking and who's an alcoholic, and all of a sudden you're doing this. And so now the centers in the brain, which are called I can't remember right now, but it's the posterior cingula, the anterior cingula. Those areas in your brain help you to feel safe in your own body.
Okay.
And that gets developed between about 3 to 5 years of age, that part of the brain. And those cues of safety, a child can't do that for him or herself. They can only do that by co-regulating of a calm and rational and regulated parent. I have to get my cues of safety from my primary caregivers. So if mom is, I'm scared, and mom gives me that look like, come here, honey, hold me like this, it calms the child's nervous system down. Okay, so it teaches them how to regulate. If the mom, I'm just using, and it could be the dad as well.
Sure.
Okay, I'm just using this as, if the mom is dysregulated and she's nervous and she's scared as well or she's threatened, and the child is threatened, there's no way for the child at that age to learn how to regulate those emotions that are coming in. And so it creates more dysregulation. It creates different neuronal pathways, different neuronal connections. And so I didn't know any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? This is all new stuff. And when I was a young lieutenant, I was waking up to these nightmares and all this stuff, and I lost my moral compass, and my system was going off. And so what do? I did whatever most people do who suffer from any kind of trauma-related injuries, is you want to feel good, so you numb yourself out with alcohol, with drugs, with sex, with anything to those adrenaline rushing activities. You know, when you're driving the motorcycle as fast as you can down the road, or you're putting yourself in danger, because that elevation in your body, that rush of those chemicals in your body makes you feel calm.
Isn't that amazing?
Your brain changes if you, and this is Dr. Bessel van der Kolk's work, and I had him on my show recently, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Brilliant man. Best, one of the world-class doctors out there.
You've had some great people on your show. We'll talk about that a little bit, I think, because, I mean, super high level.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's been like
good for you. It's kind
blessing.
of a dream. Yeah.
And to have him on, his book. There were two books that really helped me tremendously. One was Dr. Edward Tix, who I worked with for many years, and who was my mentor, one of my mentors and teachers. He wrote the book called War in the Soul and Warrior's Return, and that helped me to understand the wounding that I had gotten as a veteran, right, as a warrior. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk's work helped me to understand what was going on in the brain. Helped me to understand what was going on in my nervous system. Helped me to give the body, that understanding that was so, the medical understanding of what was happening to me, or why that happened. Because life gives you the test first, and then you get the lesson.
Well, so, and that's what I was going to ask you is, did you go searching, or did something kind of fall in your lap and you're like, oh, I need to dig into this a little bit more?
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish it was that way. No, it wasn't. What ended up happening, long story short, I left the military in a very bad place. Went from being one of the top lieutenants into one that was in trouble. And I had all the markers of someone, now that I look back, someone who was suffering from trauma, the symptoms, all of that. I was suicidal, I was living on edge, I was doing. So I ended up going down a long, dark path of alcohol or drug abuse, and I ended up trying to reconnect to joy by getting into the theater, right? It was something I had done when I was a kid. Getting back to creativity, getting back into learning what it meant to be human again. What it meant for me, to put myself in other people. And so all of a sudden it was like, oh, I'm feeling myself, like feeling alive again. And I ended up forming a relationship with a woman during this time. And we were in a relationship for 6 years. We were both actors. And I ended up forming a relationship with her that replicated exactly what I had witnessed between my mother and my father at 2.5, 3 years old. Exactly. It's like it was a program that was, embedded in a virus, embedded into my unconscious mind, that was just waiting for the right woman to come into my life, certain attributes, qualities, characteristics, and traits, and it just activated that program. And it just flipped it on. And these are called betrayal bonds, where you engage in a lot of drama and a lot of conflict and disagreements, power plays, using love as a weapon with each other until it reaches a climax, whatever that is, and then there's the payoff. There's the relief, the apology, the reconciliation, the intimacy, all those things, and they're called betrayal bonds. And it's a dysfunctional pattern. It's a reversal of the loyalty bond.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? When you go through something with somebody, and you like when you and your husband came here to Colorado, right? And you struggled. Right.
Yep.
But you were with each other.
Yep.
You were loyal to one another, and so the bond became stronger.
Yeah.
So that's that's when it's healthy. But the betrayal bond uses you betray each other's trust in some way in order to, link up in a tighter unit.
Yeah.
But you have to feed that negative. It's a negative loop.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I formed a relationship with that dysfunctional pattern because that's the only way I knew how to be in a relationship too. And I'm trying to heal that within myself as well. It ended tragically, and she left me unexpectedly, and I opened the door to our apartment, and I found all of her stuff gone. And what that did was where she lived inside of me just got ripped open, and then all this pain and grief, and I knew I was in trouble. And I was alone in an apartment. It was terrible. So, and so I was suicidal. Where she used to live inside my heart, there was this big gaping hole, and all this pain and grief and anger and rage spewed forth. People would wave their hand in front of my face, and nobody was home. And every time I came back to the apartment, I kept reliving it over in its intensity. So exposure therapy would not have worked for me. I was totally being exposed to it over and over again, and I just wanted the pain to stop. And it was, oh my gosh, those 5 months were the hardest. And so it was. I got on my hands and knees and prayed. I hadn't prayed in a long time, and I was in trouble. And so it was from that place of pain, of having gone to the very bottom of it. You can't get any closer than that. You have a choice at that point. To live or die. And so I chose. I kept getting, and then I met a doctor. Her name was Dr. Sarah Larson, and she started. I wanted to help you, and so that started my journey.
Isn't that amazing? And the thing, because that's what you said, the hard stuff comes and then the lesson comes after. And while you're going through it, just give me the lesson now because I'm really tired and I don't want to do this anymore. Because I say that a lot, when we're talking about Lowry and my husband and moving to Colorado, it was a struggle. It's been a long struggle, just because it's a very different state. It's economics were very different. We moved here right when the crash, and it's just it's been crazy. And you're totally starting over. But sorry, I don't mean to digress. But it's like you look back, you're like, okay, I've learned so much. I'm a very different person in a good way. Lowry and I are very different people together in a good way, right? You grow together, and you are able to look back and see the lessons. There have been a lot of lessons. But going through it can suck.
Oh my God, yeah. Really bad.
Yeah.
And if you're experiencing trauma, trauma is pre-verbal. So it comes before language. It bypasses your language centers. The prefrontal cortex, the Broca's area of your brain, it bypasses it. It goes right into the limbic system, the emotional brain. So when you experience a traumatic event, your whole body stiffens. You're going into that fight or flight response mode. It's the amygdala is being activated, the hypothalamus, all the chemicals, the adrenals and all that stuff is being, so that you can alert. All right, is this a situation that I need to run from? Right? Do I have enough time to run? Okay, that's the first moment. Right? And so you make that. It's so fast how this process happens. The next stage is fighting. All right, no, I can't run, so I'm going to fight. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to defend myself or defend my loved ones or what have you. And then the next stage is freeze. It's so overwhelming, the terror. You can't do anything. You are helpless. you're in a situation, maybe a child, or a situation where bombs are blowing up around you, or somebody is hurting you or violating you in some way, and you can't do anything about it, so your system goes on to freeze, which is a way of protection as well. If I freeze, maybe they won't see me, or they'll hide, or this will go away, which leads to, once you reach that, you go into collapse, you go into despair, where you will see, like playing possum. All right, that is a defense mechanism. That is the extreme end of the fight or flight response system in nature, and they will collapse. All right, and then they play possum, and you feign death. You feign death, and so I just want it to be over. That's when the whole system is on overload, but it's all in service of survival. All of this is in service of helping you to survive.
Yeah.
And then you wake up from that stuff. Animals will be able to shake it off, like a dog.
Yep.
The dog has got a traumatic experience. They shake it off. You pet them. They're able to get it out of their bodies. What we humans do.
Not always.
Not always. Not always.
But yes, I see what you're saying. I mean, we are very different creatures, but it sticks with them. A lot of times it'll stick with them, and we don't need to get into that. But I mean, their little personalities change, and
you know that more than I. But when this is Peter Levine's work, he studied this. Excuse me, in nature, and more of like a gazelle. You know, gazelles being chased by a lion, freezes, waits till the lion passes, and then it will literally run around in a circle, and then go off back to grazing, to shake off the trauma to moving.
Gotcha. So, that's cool.
So it's learning. You know, that the trauma gets trapped in that body. So if you don't know that about yourself and what's happening as humans, we will hold on to that. We will suppress that. We don't know how to verbalize it. And then all of a sudden we get these flashbacks. We get nightmares. We get nervous about being in a certain situation. A glance, a look, the sound of somebody's voice, just being in the presence of a man, just being in the presence of a woman. All those things can suddenly send these triggers and these chemicals, because your brain has looked for cues of danger, has shifted in order to protect itself. And so trauma is the absence of trauma is let me put it this way. What is the absence of trauma? Is agency. It is choice. Okay? Where you did not have a choice before in that situation, whether it was bombs blowing up, whether it was somebody getting shot, whether it was not being able to to help that family, or to fend off your attacker, or to when you're a refugee and you couldn't do it, and it's putting. I didn't have a choice. There was nothing else I could do, and so you have to give people back into a place where they feel like they have a choice again.
Right.
I can choose.
Yeah.
It's and to get there is a journey.
Yeah, a difficult one. I'm amazed that we're already 40 minutes into the show. I'm like, whoa. So quick break.
Sorry.
No.
I can talk sometimes.
Don't be sorry. I mean, that's what it's about. But I've been just kind of going, wow, and a little bit mesmerized. I'm like, whoa, it's 10:40. Man. All right. This is another 3-hour show that we could have. So real quick, Henry's on top of me. Actually, I saw him put the sponsor up, and I was like, oh, I need to talk about my sponsors. So Rifle is an amazing company. They're a pain management company. They're a supplement company. The main component that they use is curcumin, which is a piece of part of turmeric, as the active component of turmeric. And so I don't want to get too much into it, but it tastes good. It's got calming herbs. It has focusing herbs. There's one that'll help you sleep and one that'll help you wake up. But the goal of it is to help with controlling pain without the drugs. And it does such an amazing job that they're sold in pain management clinics.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a natural supplement. Takes a little bit longer than, just taking an ibuprofen or something stronger. It'll take, could take a week, could take a couple of weeks, could take a month. It kind of depends on your body, but it does work, and it works really, really well. So first off, understanding where your pain comes from, but then using something like this to help to control it while the need is there. Or if you're one of those people, I always use my husband who has a fused ankle. Nutrition, lifestyle can't change a fused ankle, and so this is one of those things that could be whenever he needs it, he can use something like this. So great company, small company, building their small business just like we're all trying to do, and I appreciate them for the beautiful products that they've brought to us, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the other things that they've produced. They've come out with a few other things, but go to rightful.com and put in the code TLN20 to get a discount, and just do it, because I love them. I don't have pain, but they help me focus, or the supplement helps me focus. And that's where my pain is. I don't focus very well.
And when you're trying to operate your own business, or you do that, your mind is going so many different directions. Yeah. So the ability to focus, so important.
It is important, and it's been a year-long work for me, and it's going well. But there are always times where I still just kind of go all over the place. Like, okay, bring it back. But it is interesting. We have Dr. Sam and Dr. Lynn who have their show. I've been working with them on my brain and focus. Anyway, so many fun things that we can do to help ourselves and people who are around us who are so good at what they do. Because I'm good at nutrition, but I'm not good at the brain. I'm not good at the mental and emotional. So knowing people and surrounding yourself with they're just the smartest people around is always a good thing.
It is a good thing.
It's always a good thing. Okay, so let's do this. We talked a lot about, we kind of went straight into talking about trauma, but I want to talk a little bit about the epigenetic piece of it, because this is the part that we talked a little bit about earlier, but I want to make sure that there's an understanding of what that means, because it's amazing. It's truly amazing. And so just really briefly, epigenetics, so we have our genetic makeup. It's, kind of everything about us, right? It's our eye color and things that don't typically change. They can't. But then we have what's called our epigenome, and there are locations that sit on top of our genes that have the ability to turn on and off due to lifestyle factors, which means, because I have it in my tagline, we do have control over our genetic destiny. And so, it's sleep, it's food, it's calm, bringing stress down or stress up. All of these things can flip these switches on or off. It's trauma. It's everything. It's toxicants, environmental toxicants. It's you name it. If it's part of lifestyle, this has the ability to turn these genes on and off. And I want to give a quick example of a friend of mine. She's a girl I went to school with, who is studied this epigenetic, I call it a phenomenon, it's not, but it's fairly new science, relatively speaking, and things we're still just learning and discovering about it. But an example is, she was a dancer, she was healthy, she was active, all of these things. She had I think she had 5 family members pass within 6 months.
Wow.
So I don't know any details about it, and it doesn't really matter, except it was amazingly traumatic for her. And so after that point, this trauma, you can only assume, but the science shows it, flipped on these genes, right? And so she has been fighting her body since that point in many, many ways, whether it's infections and mold, and she's just so much more susceptible to things. And these genes flipped on, and her body has just literally gone haywire. And it's been, I've known her now, so this was in school, it's been 8 years. And I think it probably started, I'm sure it started before that point. And so I think part of that is for people to understand, look at your history and understand that if you've had trauma, or maybe you don't remember. I have a friend who also didn't remember until recently, that kind of thing. Trauma can make you sick. if you can't figure out what's going on with you, find somebody who understands trauma or understands epigenetics or can understand your history and kind of help you move through that process, both physically, with somebody like me or a functional medicine doctor, but somebody who also can help. You got to have both. Someone who can help with the mental and emotional piece of it, because you can't separate them.
No, you cannot separate them.
Yeah.
It's you have to treat any type of effective treatment in any way is going to be truly, in my opinion, and it's based on a lot of years of research and what happened. You got to treat nutrition. You got to treat the body. You've got to treat the mind. You got to treat the emotions. You got to be able to, and the whole spirit. You're an integrated person.
Right. Yeah.
And we've got to. And epigenetics is fascinating. I mean, what we know now and the things that are impacting, just like because we're talking about trauma, they have done numerous studies on animals, on others, where they were able to traumatize the parent to see what was going to happen to the offspring. And did they show those same kind of symptoms? And there was Dr. Yehuda. She's a wonderful doctor. I'm pretty sure this is her study. She traumatized these mice and or separated the pups from the mother and then returned them. And then they had offspring. And those mice showed and exhibited PTSD symptoms, even though they were not traumatized in the second generation.
Yeah.
Other examples, people from the Holocaust, the survivors of the Holocaust, people who were in the Holocaust were so overwhelmed by the trauma, the death, the toll that they had been through, that their system was just on overload. They were shut down. But their offspring, so many of them, showed PTSD symptoms. The agitation, the hypervigilance, the all of those things that you would expect someone who'd been through the actual event. But no, it was on the next, second and third generations.
Yeah.
And so the more we start to begin to understand how we can be influenced by the genetic code of our parents and what they went through. I mean, it's even known that the spermidine cells in the man can be changed right up until the moment of conception. So if your father, as an example, went to war and then came back and you were conceived, those traumas that your father or mother went through, you're going to be encoded with.
Yeah.
Very high probability.
It is amazing, and a little bit of a offshoot of that, because anyway, I love fertility and I love helping people to have babies. And so what I'm trying to do, I'm actually trying to get to the point where I can create a course on this, but it's a course that is guiding people before they get pregnant, to be patient, take the time, get your body, your mind, your emotions, your physical health in as good a place as you possibly can, because it's not just about what you eat or don't eat. It's about your feelings, it's about your attitude, it's about everything that you do. And what this data is showing is it's not only to the next generation. These genes can be switched on. What they're showing is up to 7 generations. 7 generations because of this thing that you do. And I know that there are people out there who just have the attitude, well, I'm going to eat whatever I want and worry about all of the other stuff after the baby comes, and I'm going to not worry about this, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to stay in this abusive relationship, or whatever the case may be. We are a sick nation, and it's sad because so much of this wasn't understood, as we moved into the Industrial Revolution and the fake foods that we eat now and that kind of thing. But we're understanding it now. And so getting away from these foods, I say that because a lot of our illness is coming from parents and grandparents. And it's being passed on. But that's the beautiful thing about having control of our genetic destiny, is we can change the trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
We can change the trajectory of our dogs dying too soon, but we've got to do something about it.
Yeah, you can't do anything about what happened yesterday.
Right.
You know, and there's no need to blame your parents or your grandparents.
No. It's not a blame. It's just an understanding.
It's an understanding. Yeah. It's information. It's wisdom.
Right.
It's a science.
Just like we said earlier.
Yeah.
You can't change what happened. You can't change any of that stuff, but we can move forward.
You do have a choice on how you want to move forward.
Yeah.
You have it, and that's the that powerful agency of being able to choose your destiny, rather than just allowing fate to determine and others to determine your fate.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm choosing my destiny, that's what I'm choosing. What I want to eat. I'm choosing that I'm going to get healthy. I'm choosing healthier thoughts.
Yep.
I'm choosing recognizing that my thoughts are going to affect my feelings, that are going to affect my emotions, that are going to affect my quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do whatever I can to start to get my mind and my thoughts in order, because I know the power that that has on the fullness, on the wholeness and health of my body.
Yeah.
Right? And also, if I allow, or the other choice, the other option is I'm not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to and so now you allow the environment, you allow others, you allow outside influences to determine your fate.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
what do you want to do?
Yeah, it's your choice. It's our choice. It's my choice.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I want to be very clear about is just because your parents or your grandparents sit down these, epigenetic changes doesn't mean that they'll present, right? So just because you had them doesn't mean that you're going to present. And when I say present, it's, develop, cardiovascular disease, or develop, you're just going to be fat because everybody in my family's fat kind of thing. It really is up to you, and it's up to me on whether something presents or not. Now, trauma can also flip these switches on. So, there are things that we can't control. We can try to get away from them. But things happen, right? But we can control our food. We can control whether we pray or meditate. We can control our thoughts and our emotions, or we can learn to control them. I know sometimes they can be uncontrollable, but we can learn to control them. We can seek help. But these are all choices, just like you said. It's choices that we make to be the bigger, better, most, there's a word, optimal person that we can be in all of these ways. But it's tiny steps at a time. Nobody says, "Oh, let's just be this," immediately. It's lessons. It's life.
It's a process. It's a journey. It's a journey of empowerment. I think one of the most critical elements that is in this time is for us to learn how to empower each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
To empower each other. And yet it starts with us learning how to re-empower ourselves when we have given our power over to the world, whether it's because of traumatic memories, bad diet, poor nutrition, lack of a supportive environment to help you to move forward in a direction in life, whatever it may be. Being able to regain that power starts with you, and then helping others to regain their power.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the biggest things, especially with people who've been traumatized, is they feel powerless and unable to move, and they live in isolation and hopelessness that their life will ever change again. And they feel a prisoner in their own world. They can't move out of it. And it takes time. Whenever you're dealing with wounds to the soul, whenever you're dealing with those deep core soul wounds, it's a wounding to the deep emotional self.
Yeah. All
right? It's going to take a little bit of time. But you can get through it. You will get through it. And it's just a matter of consistency. It's a matter of commitment. It's a matter of, not giving up on yourself. Right. Because if you would have seen me when that moment happened 10 years ago, I was a mess. I was, suffering from complex PTSD, severe. And here I am sitting with you today. You don't have to live with it for the rest of your life. You just don't.
Yeah, yeah. I hate that we're almost finished, but we are. But that's okay, because you know what I want to do now is just make sure that people know where to find you. So your website is Core Soul Healing, and so talk about what it is that you do. How do you deal with clients? What is it that you're doing now? Because you're sort of evolving in your business a little bit, right? So talk about that, because it's exciting.
It is exciting. It's very exciting. It's I decided I wanted to move out on my own a little bit more. A lot of things changed in that I had originally thought I was going in one direction, and now I'm going in another direction. And I thought that trauma healing there was a lot of great work being done in the medical field. There's a lot of great work being done with the soul, and then there's a lot of great work being done with the mind. But why aren't we communicating with each other? Why are we having just this group over here and this group over here and this group over here? So what I wanted to do was to make a 3-tiered program, which I think is critical to healing from trauma, which is healing trauma, deepening the mind-body connection, which includes nutrition and living well, and restoring the soul. So you're looking at it from the science of Western medicine, and you're incorporating it with this understanding of the mind-body connection. And then you're getting back into connection with your soul and what makes you alive, what connects you to the world around you. And when someone has experienced trauma, they're at war within themselves. All right? You're fighting your own demons. You're fighting that battle on the inside. If we don't articulate and identify what that is, how are we going to help you? So what we do, we have classes, we have courses to help you to understand how to heal the soul and what your own soul, to connect you to your soul. When we're healing trauma, we have to create a space between the event and you. You have to be able to start to feel safe in your body. That's number one when you're healing trauma. I've got to feel safe in my own body again. And what does that look like? And how do I learn how to calm my body down? We connect to a future so that you can start to think about something other than your past. All right? And then we learn to reframe the story and to rewrite the story, engage the soul through art, through theater, through music, dance. We lift your story up into myth. Why is that important? Archetypes. Archetypes are these patterns, energetic patterns that all of us have. When I say geek, do you know what a geek is? Automatically. Or if you say somebody who's, that guy's, he's a good dad, or she's a great mom, or you can tell that person has got the warrior in them. You can just tell there's something that they embody. You're doing archetypes, archetypal patterns. When we lift that up into our stories, into the epic dimensions like that, we start to see our story, your story, in the larger picture of humanity. And so you're lifting it up, and we start to heal our suffering because we see it in the larger, we take it from the personal to the impersonal. So we're no longer making it, this happened to me. And you have to go through that. You have to go through that victim phase. It's necessary. It's important. But we've got to get it up into that impersonal stage. Then learning how to set healthy boundaries and restoring your sense of esteem and confidence in yourself. And then learning how you move forward. How do you walk in this world with your soul? And so we do retreats. I want in on the retreats. I want you to.
I like retreats.
You know what? It's such a great way for people to get outside of what their comfort of their world, and being together with other people who are doing the similar things, who are needing that safety, that sacred space in order to process these things, to feel like I've got support around me, that sense of community. And that's one of the critical elements too, is that we heal in community. You're no longer having to carry the burden of what happened to you. I'm going to carry it with you. we're going to shoulder it together. So now we're leaning on each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so it's all of these different elements that have come into being with core soul healing, and because that's what we have to do. And so
awesome. Well, this has been packed full of all kinds of fun stuff.
I know, we could go on.
I know, yeah, definitely we could. But thank you for joining us. Look for Charlie. It's you go by Charlie because I see Charles everywhere. I'm like, I know who's Charlie.
Charlie's the way I prefer to. Charles is only like when I'm doing something official, or like when I sign my name. Charles. Charlie.
Anyway, go to his website, check him out. You know, it's new, it's phenomenal what he's doing. I really could sit and listen to you all day because it is outside of what I am good at, but it's such a huge part of any of my clients, right? And I'm constantly amazed because I do a 2-hour intake on my clients before I see them at the amount of trauma that I see in an intake, and it's heart-wrenching what people experience. So it's there's so much to life. You just got to find people who can help to lift you up. We all need to be lifted up.
We all need to be lifted up, and especially after this pandemic, when we get outside, there's going to be a lot of people who are needing to for these kinds of connections. And our retreat is going to be, if I just quick plug, it's going to be September 16th through September 19th. It's going to be at the Sunrise Ranch here in Loveland, Colorado. We've already got people ready that are coming on. Book it. It's going to book fast. And this is going to be the first of many, so stay tuned.
Good for you.
So
that's
September 16th through the 19th, right up here in Loveland, Colorado.
Do it. Check them out. Thanks, everybody. You can check me out at tastelifenutrition.com. All the social media is Taste Life Nutrition. You can fill out, there's an assessment on my website that you can fill out, and it goes directly to me. And so I will get it. I'll reach out to you. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, except you have to speak English, because I only speak English. I'm getting better about that. Well, I need to get better. That's just all I know. But I will talk to you, and we'll kind of figure out, can we work on a few things, or do we actually need to set up some time and actually spend some time together? So I'm here, let us know if there's anything you need. We are both here to be a resource for anybody, message us, whatever. We like to talk. So
we do.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.
Thank you. This was so great.
Thank you, Charlie. Charles.